Miss Duffy is one of our pets that have kind of an interesting story. One of our clients a few years ago had moved to Africa and they recently moved back. So they were getting ready to come in with their pets, and I realized I didn't really recognize one of the pets' names. And so then I found out that they had actually adopted a pet from Africa named Duffy. And so when they came in, we did a full exam. They really wanted us to check her out because she literally came off the streets. So people used to throw rocks at her and mistreat her because in Africa there's a lot of community dogs that people are scared of because they bite people or they carry rabies, and so they don't really treat the dogs there like we do here in the United States. She had a medicine man or a guy that had been partially trained in veterinary medicine in Africa that had done some things as far as trying to make sure that she wouldn't have puppies. I guess they give an injection there to help sterilize them. We knew that that wasn't going to last or going to work, and we honestly don't even know what it may have done to her. And so they really wanted to get her spayed. So when we got in there, I found a very large uterus, very abnormal looking. So I went ahead and removed the uterus with no complications. Everything went well. And once we were out of surgery, Duffy was doing really well. So we monitor all of our surgery patients throughout the entire day, several times, make sure they're doing well. And it was towards the end of the day that we really noticed that Duffy had kind of done a 180. So she was starting to act different. She was seemed like she was painful or panting, her heart rate was up. So we look at all these parameters to kind of determine what's going on. And her parameters were suggesting that she might be bleeding internally. So at this point, we knew we had to jump back into surgery and figure out what happened. When I got in there for surgery for the second time, I took a look around and nothing was abnormal. So the sutures were all there. I couldn't find anything bleeding at that point. And she just seemed to be seeping a little bit of blood just from her regular tissues. So at this point, it was a bleeding condition versus the fact that it was the surgery that had caused it. By the next day, she was doing great. So after she recovered from that second surgery, everything was looking really good. She was so happy to see everyone. She was wagging her tail, eating, feeling better, everything. She stayed with us for about a week, and so we were able to send her home, and she was doing awesome. The weird thing, or the peculiar thing that we noticed with Duffy in her recovery from surgery, even 5 to 7 days later, is that every now and then she would just leak a little bit from her incision site. And it was just clear, and sometimes that's normal, especially if they're very active. Well, Duffy wasn't super active. She just liked people and just liked to be around people and just kind of lay around. So we kind of kept a close eye on it. So when she came back for her surgery recheck and she was still leaking, that was very abnormal. That's when I also found that she now had a hernia in the area where her incision was for her spay. So because she was leaking, it did not allow that area to heal up properly. And so the owner agreed that the best thing to do was to repair the hernia. And at that point, because of how large it was, we didn't want anything to get trapped in there or for it to cause other complications, which I was really happy we decided to do, because when we got in there, we actually found that the part of the uterus that we leave in there after a spay was now full of mucus. And what we had determined from the uterus and the issues with that is that she actually had a mucometra, which is a very rare condition where the uterus fills up with just mucus. And again, we're not sure why or what, but now this little piece that was in there that we typically leave in there was now full of mucus and producing it, and was most likely the reason why she was continuing to leak fluid. And so here we go again. We had to remove more of that uterus and really take it down to where she wouldn't have this issue again. So after doing that and repairing her hernia, she again recovered great. And then came back another week later and had finally healed up and was doing awesome. So her case was really difficult because she had a lot going on. She had lots of things that could be causing these issues. In the end, we were able to at least treat all the symptoms and the signs and get her back to where she needed to be. The really neat thing that we were able to see from this whole experience is that this dog from Africa that was used to being tormented by people really slowly learned to trust and love our staff. And now when she comes in, she's just wagging her tail and excited to see everybody, whereas before, she was scared of people. The whole situation just turned into a really enriching enriching experience for the entire staff and the team, and even for Duffy and her family.